Welcome to our deep dive. This time, we're tackling the Congo.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Definitely heavy stuff. We've got historical records, reports, firsthand accounts, a lot to dig into.
but it's important. What we're going to uncover here, it's about more than just like dates and names, right? It's about understanding how the Congo got to where it is today. And honestly, it might surprise you.
It's fascinating how intertwined its history is with colonialism, exploitation, and the resilience of the Congolese people.
Absolutely.
Like, picture the Congo River before Europeans arrived. Those
Wow.
banks,
Yeah.
bustling with villages full of life.
Right. And then, we have accounts from travelers who entered the Congo under King Leopold II's reign, and it's just emptiness.
Wow.
Only Belgian officers and their families. As if the Congolese people had just vanished.
It's chilling.
Yeah.
It really sets the scene for, what happened under Leopold II.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to think he presented himself as this philanthropist.
Yeah, the whole philanthropist thing was a facade. Leopold II was all about profit. He established this forced labor system to extract rubber, which was in high demand back then.
Right. And the punishments for anyone who didn't meet their quota, brutal.
Oh, absolutely brutal.
We've got the Casement Report, which is the document put together by a British consul, and it really exposes just how horrific that system was.
Yeah, that report's tough to read.
There's one account I remember about a child whose hand was severed as punishment.
Ugh.
It's just...
It's just awful. And it wasn't an isolated incident either. That report shows how widespread these atrocities were.
It's a dark period.
Well,
And it set the stage for a lot of the struggles that the Congolese people faced in the years that followed.
for sure.
And then, when we look at the post-colonial era, you see this incredible figure emerge, Patrice Lumumba.
A beacon of hope, you could say. Powerful speaker, strong leader, he fiercely advocated for Congolese independence.
His vision for the Congo, free from exploitation, it
Yeah.
resonated with so many.
Absolutely, and you can hear that unwavering commitment in his speeches. He wanted true self-determination for his people.
But that vision,
Yeah.
it was seen as a threat.
Right.
Lumumba was assassinated. And many believe Western powers, fearing his socialist leanings and his, push for real independence, were involved.
It's hard to imagine the impact of losing a leader like that, especially for a newly independent nation. It left this huge void.
And into that void stepped Joseph Mobutu. And initially, a lot of people saw him as a stabilizing force. But things took a dark turn.
Yeah, he went full dictator. Mobutu staged a coup, seized power, and his regime, textbook neocolonialism.
Liked by guess who? Western powers.
Exactly. It's like meet the new boss, same as the old boss, except arguably worse. And this is where that whole industry plant idea comes in. Mobutu, even though he initially seemed different, he ended up serving the interests of those who helped him gain power.
It robbed the Congo of genuine self-determination. And some would even say it cost the nation 62 years of progress.
62 years? It's mind-boggling.
It really makes you think about how long the impact of exploitation can last. And it brings us to another disturbing parallel in the Congo story in the present day.
What's that?
Cobalt.
Ah, yes! Cobalt, essential for all those renewable energy technologies. And guess which country holds the majority of the world's reserves?
I think I know where you're going with this.
The Congo. Sadly familiar, isn't it?
It is. There's like this heartbreaking cycle. The Congo is providing something vital for the world, but suffering the consequences.
History rhyming, almost.
Yeah.
The Congo is providing something the world desperately needs, but the costs, the social costs, the environmental costs, they're immense. We're talking dangerous working conditions, child labor.
It's unsettling how much it echoes what happened under Leopold II.
For sure.
The Congo. In a way, they're holding the world's conscience when it comes to renewable energy. You know, bearing the brunt of the burden. It's a lot to think about.
It really makes you question, the true cost of progress. And it just highlights how interconnected these global issues are. Like what happens in the Congo doesn't stay in the Congo.
Yeah. It ripples out, affects us. But, it's so easy to feel removed from it all. Like we're over here, they're over there, but we're all part of this system.
We are. And especially when you consider that the echoes of Leopold II's regime are still so present, how can we even talk about, ethical sourcing?
Right. I mean, the Congo gained independence, right?
Yeah.
how is this legacy of exploitation still going on?
Well, independence on paper, it didn't erase the power structures, the economic dependencies that were already in place, decades of that. It doesn't just disappear.
I guess that makes sense. They were left with a fragile infrastructure, political instability, and the world still wanted their resources.
Exactly. And often without any regard for the well-being of the Congolese people.
It's like they were set up to fail almost.
It's complicated, for sure. But amidst all of this, it's important to remember the Congolese people. Their resilience is incredible.
They face so much.
Unimaginable hardship, honestly. But they endure.
It's a testament to their strength, absolutely. But where do we go from here? What can we actually do? It feels so overwhelming.
It starts with awareness, educating ourselves, understanding the complexities of resource extraction, and demanding transparency from the companies we support.
So being more conscious consumers.
Exactly. Asking tough questions. Where are the materials in our products coming from? Are they sourced ethically? These things matter.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about those of us who are, passionate about renewable energy? Like, how do we reconcile that with the ethical concerns around cobalt? It feels like a catch-22 almost.
It's not about abandoning renewable energy, right? It's about pushing for responsible sourcing practices, supporting the companies that are doing things the right way, prioritizing worker safety, environmental protection in the Congo.
And holding the ones that don't accountable.
Exactly. Pushing for stricter regulations, both domestically and internationally, demanding real transparency in the supply chain. These are the things that will make a difference.
Yeah. We need to put pressure on those companies, not just ignore it because it's convenient.
We have to advocate. We have to raise our voices. The choices we make, they have power.
You're right. We're not just bystanders in this. We're all interconnected, and our actions or inactions have real consequences. This whole deep dive has been enlightening, but also pretty heartbreaking.
I agree. The Congo's story. It's a reminder of the human cost of our global interconnectedness.
And the legacies of colonialism and exploitation. But it's also a story of resilience, of people who are determined to carve their own path forward.
It is, and that's where we find hope. We can learn from the past, acknowledge the present, and work towards a better future, a more just future for everyone.
It's a lot to process, yeah. The more we talk about this, the more I realize how much I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
About the Congo, I mean. It's really made me think about some of my own choices.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a consumer,
that's exactly why we do these deep dives. Awareness is the first step. But as we've been saying, it has to be followed by action.
right.
Your choices, your voice, they have power to change things. Don't underestimate that.
We talked about those parallels between, like, Leopold II, the rubber exploitation, and what's happening now with cobalt.
Yeah.
But I keep thinking about something you said earlier, about how that industry plant situation, it costs the Congo 62 years of progress.
Right.
It just makes me wonder, like, what would the Congo look like today if things had been different?
It's the question, isn't it? Historians, scholars, we all grapple with it.
Yeah.
It's impossible to know for sure, but it is thought-provoking. Imagine a Congo where Lumumba's vision had actually come true.
Right.
Or where the wealth from its resources actually benefited the people.
It's kind of painful to think about, all that lost potential.
Mm.
But I know dwelling on what-ifs doesn't change the past.
No, it doesn't. What matters is how to move forward in a way that honors the Congolese people,
Yeah.
helps create a better future. And that's where you come in. Remember, the key to progress is informed action. It really is. Your choices as a consumer, as a citizen, they all have a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Supporting companies that do ethical sourcing, advocating for stricter regulations, raising awareness, even just talking to your friends and family. These actions contribute to a more just and equitable future for the Congo and for everyone, really.
It's a call to action for sure.
Yes.
This whole deep dive, it's been eye-opening. And yeah, at times pretty unsettling, but it's also like ignited this sense of responsibility in me. Like I can't just sit back and pretend like I don't know what's going on.
I get it.
I have to do something.
And that's what it takes, that awareness, that willingness to act. The Congo story is complex, it's challenging, but it deserves to be heard, and it needs our attention, our action.
Yeah.
So as you keep learning and exploring, remember the lessons we've talked about today and use them to be a force for positive change. It's possible.
I appreciate you guiding us through this. It's been a true deep dive.
The pleasure was all mine, honestly. Keep questioning, keep learning, and keep advocating. The world needs more people like you who are willing to dig deeper and to make a difference.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged. The world needs more people like you, willing to dig deeper, make a difference.